Quick message before today's webinar. If you are involved with or know any events that require ticketing or admissions, we have a purpose-built platform just for ticket events. Like RunSignup, it's free to use and provides the same marketing and event day tools to help you put on a seamless event. For more information, visit TicketSignup.io. You can schedule a call there or just start creating your event for free today. Now on to the webinar.
Hi everyone, welcome and thank you so much for joining us today for our first Vibe Coding project webinar. Today we have product manager Daniel Beasley, also known as the AI guy, and developer Joel Peterson. This is going to be a bit of an introductory session for Vibe Coding, and then we'll have some additional Vibe Coding webinars to follow with more projects. Quick housekeeping notes off the top. This webinar is being recorded, and we'll send out the recording and any slides within about 24 hours. Send that out by email, and then if you ever don't see it in your email, you can always find them on our website by going to Knowledge Base and then Webinars and Events. There's a little button there that says On-Demand Webinars, and that'll get you to the latest ones that have happened. If you have any questions or feedback during the webinar, you can use the questions or the chat sections on your GoToWebinar panel to send those to us. We'll answer some questions during the webinar as we're able to, and we'll follow up later on any relevant questions that aren't answered. Questions will kind of depend on time and how the session goes today. With that, I think I will turn it over to Daniel and Joel.
Awesome. I think I'll kick it off here. Joel's in control of the slides today, so I'll be letting him know when to go next. So let's have it, Joel. On to the next.
So far, so good.
Yes, and we're going to start off with a great limerick that was created by our assistant, ChatGPT. There's Daniel, who guides with great cheer, and Joel making code disappear. With vibes set just right, they'll build apps in plain sight. So welcome, we're glad you are here. I don't know if truer words have ever been spoken. That was great.
Yeah, that's the single greatest thing that ChatGPT has been able to sort of accomplish for us.
I agree so far, but we're still young today, into the day. Our agenda for today, I think I left out an agenda, so I didn't get the slide right there, but that's okay. Intro to vibe coding. We're going to go through a little bit of vibe coding and talk about a little bit of the history, kind of why vibe coding, just to give you a little bit of information around it all. The tool that we're using will kind of give you information around that. And then we will jump into a project, our project one, with a little mini project. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then at the end, if there's time, we'll dive into a Q&A. And hopefully we have some time at the end to answer some questions. So on to the next. All right, back one, please.
Oh,
there we go.
sorry.
It's all right. There we go. So
how am I doing? Am I doing good so far?
You're doing great. You're doing great. What is vibe coding? And so vibe coding is using AI tools to turn ideas into code or a quick prototype. And you don't really need, there's no heavy setup. It really is just you prompt it with plain English and it produces some type of prototype or what you're looking for. And you use different tools like the V0 that we'll show. There's other tools that we'll list here in a bit that you can use as well to do this. You don't need any dev experience. You don't need to be a Joel. You can have a very little experience and learn along the way. And that's a really fun part of what vibe coding is about. And it's focused on having fun, being experimental, and then rapid prototyping, which is very helpful for a lot of like small businesses out there, or any business, I guess, really, of getting some ideas out there quickly and just kind of seeing how they work before you commit to something larger there. And the goal of vibe coding is to lower the barrier for anyone to create. And vibe coding in general is only about was created in 2024 for the most part. A lot of these tools that we talk about. And really over the last 6 months, I think is when it's really gotten interesting and gotten good. I was early on into the vibe coding scene, and the tools they were still fun, but it really was hard to create anything meaningful. And now we're at a point now where you can literally launch a app that people can pay for. And it might be a little buggy or whatever it might be, but it's still, you can go from nothing to something pretty well these days. All right, next. So why vibe coding? It makes coding accessible to non-developers, like we talked about. It encourages creativity. So you might have tons of photos for your races, or you might have tons of family photos, and you want to create a race or photo portfolio website. Later, we will attempt to create a race app that pulls in weather. And so like you can start looking at ways that you can help your business, different ideas throughout your business. And just simple apps to help build out systems. An example to the right with the photo showing here is that I had an issue where I wanted to test multiple prompts. And through those multiple prompts, I had to, and this is for the AI chatbot that we've launched, that's in beta. But for me to test those different prompts, I would have like 5 or 6 or 7 different tabs open, and I'd be going back between different tabs and trying to ask the same questions and seeing what the answers came back. And so I vibe coded this app that allows me to put multiple AI bots in one place with the different prompts. And then I could ask the same questions across all of those AI bots. And then I can rate each question. And then it actually gives me a score. I can share this with other people who actually can do this as well. And it gives us a score and data. And this is an app that I created within hours that has helped me save hours. And so this is a good example of why you might use vibe coding in your day-to-day at work, and also, for at home or just for fun. And it builds confidence by starting small and learning through play, which you'll see. I believe you will see that it's fun and there's a lot of learning. Even today, we'll probably learn some things and try some different things that as they come up. And I'd say, like, what's fun about this is that it's for all, it really is for all ages. I vibe code I got my father-in-law into vibe coding. He's in his 60s, and he is literally building tools out for his at work. He is a idea guy, and now he has a way to take those ideas and actually create things for his work and build out systems. And so it's been really fun to watch that as he has gotten better at it. Now, when I go to family dinners, we talk about vibe coding all the time. So it's pretty cool. All right, next. All right, Joel, let you take this one.
All right, so the next few slides are kind of going over the tools that we'll be using today specifically. And we kind of broke it out so that you can kind of see exactly what they are in relation to each other. The tool that we're going to be using is called V0, and V0 is a development environment. And it's made by a company called Vercel. And the thing about Vercel is that it also has a product that involves hosting the apps that you build through V0. And so there's some synergy there, but also because they're kind of close, but not really the same, there is some confusion. And so I feel like it's worth kind of just going over sort of what is V0, what is Vercel. So, and we're going to see this here in just a few minutes, but basically, it's a coding platform. It generates the UI, and Vercel then hosts it. Let me go to the next slide. This is what is V0 and Vercel slide. I'm so good at this. I can't believe this is the first time I'm doing this. All right. So V0 is the development environment, and it's very much prompt based. You're building an app, but there is no code. I mean, you can look at the code if you want to, but that's not why you're there. You're there to build with your natural language. And so it basically provides a way for you to communicate with the code base, typing to it. And it will take what you're saying, and it will work with the large language models that are available, and it will generate the code, an app based on what you're looking for. You can iterate with it. You can store your chats over time and history. You can fork those. And then you can continue from there and manage them going forward. You can share them. Very versatile. And then Vercel, as we were saying, is sort of when you publish your app. Vercel is where it gets published to, and from there you can manage the various deployment aspects of it. You can assign a custom domain to it. You can kind of pick up like where it is and stuff. The confusing part for me when we started doing this was I didn't necessarily realize that Vercel and V0 really are two separate products. So I would log into one and try to manage the other and stuff like that. So that's sort of a heads up as you kind of get your feet wet with Vercel and V0. There is sort of a confusing sort of gray cloud crossover area, but you do have to use your Vercel login to log in to V0, which makes it that much more convenient and confusing. But they're great tools. And so that's sort of V0 and Vercel in a nutshell.
Awesome. And earlier I was talking about there are different tools, and this is just a small list of many of them there that are out there. And these are just ones that I kind of know and have used. But you can do research and you can try different ones. A lot of these have free tiers where you can try them, and so you might find one you like better than the other. In this, we will be using V0 exclusively, but ChatGPT is, I think everyone knows that one. It's really great for, I think, just asking general questions. You can use it for, I don't know, I think ChatGPT is the one that most people use for almost anything, right? You just got to go and you use ChatGPT. Claude's really good for debugging code. A lot of people use that, and I think a lot of these actual tools use Claude in the back end as their LLM for coding. At least that's how it was in the past. They might be using ChatGPT 5 now, but in general, I think Claude is used for that. Replit is just, you can take an idea to production, but Replit's really good for if you want everything in one. So they do a good job of when you create your app, the database and everything's already built into it, where a lot of other ones you'll have to connect to a third party or whatever it might be. And so Replit does it all in one. And so that's a good I think what makes it a little bit different than some of these other ones out there. Gemini, it's good for long form explanations and research. Bolt.new, which is the one that I use and that I kind of play around with, is really good for spinning up things quickly, and it's come a long way in the sense of being able to attach third-party tools and building out databases, and you can attach Stripe and all that different stuff. And then Lovable is just another one out there that is very similar, I think, to Bolt, and it's a very popular one out there that people are using. So these are just other tools. We just wanted to share other ones in case you wanted to research and kind of play around with them and see which one might work best for you, or one that you might like better over what we are showing today. Next. Getting started is pretty simple. You'll see this here shortly as Joel dives in, but you literally just open up, in this case, VO. There's the URL, v0.app, and you just describe what you want in plain English, and then it will start creating and build a prototype within minutes. Sometimes it's super quick, other times it might take a little time, depending on how big of a prompt that you put in there. Something we do recommend in getting started is start small. And so don't, you might have an idea of this huge product that has, 50 features. You might want to start with that same idea, but ask it to create 2 or 3 features and then build on top of that. Start with something fun when you're getting started. I think we all have a bunch of different ideas, and there are a lot of fun things that you might just want to see what it actually creates. And I think that will be a good example of like the mini project we create. We'll have a little fun with that and show what that looks like. Don't worry about mistakes. Live debugging is part of learning. You'll probably see some mistakes here, and it's fun actually to kind of figure out, it actually is what part of the learning process is all about. You learn a lot by just trying to figure out and debug. And then a tip is to build around your hobbies. If you have hobbies, and you have ideas around that, use that as an example to kind of build off of. Next. I think it's important to kind of go over the vibe coding workflow. And this is kind of what you'll find that your workflow will kind of look like. And I think this is true for all the vibe coding tools I've used. You have an idea, concept, you go to the tool and plain English, you prompt it to what you want to build. It generates the code for you pretty quickly. And then once you have your prototype, then you go into like code review and refinement. You are giving it different prompts. I want this to look like this. I want to try to pull in this API. This is also a good time to bring up that I also use, if something's not working, I will actually use ChatGPT to help me debug. So you can take what issues you're having with these tools and go to ChatGPT or Grok. Grok's one we didn't use with X, I didn't mention, or Claude. You can go to those and kind of debug there. Why that is kind of important is that a lot of these tools charge you per token. And so you can go to these other tools that kind of help you debug so you're not wasting through your tokens, and then come back and tell that tool what you found. And normally it does a good job of understanding that and making the right changes. And you saved yourself a lot of tokens and not going through those tokens. So just a little tip there on how to debug. And then you want to test and stuff before you push a final launch, whether that's just for fun. If you're doing this for fun, it's not a major thing you're trying to do. You can go ahead and launch it and then ask for feedback from users or friends or whatever it might be. Or if you're trying to do something pretty big, you will want to go through a debugging and testing phase. Joel, anything you want to add there?
No, I think you covered it. I think that vibe coding kind of has a stigma, maybe a little associated with it. You may have seen a meme or two about vibe coding on the internet. I think one of the steps you hit on it, Daniel, is that really the debugging and the testing is where you can really get. It's really where you can get caught in the mire, and it's very important to make sure that you understand what's happening, how the code is working. It's a great assist. But at the end of the day, when you're launching it, you kind of want to make sure that it's working correctly and that you understand what it's doing and why it's doing it.
Perfect. Yes. All right. Next, on to the next slide. It's time.
Oh, nice.
Are you ready, Joel? Are you ready to show your skills? So
sure.
Today's goals for vibe coding, we're going to build a mini split test calculator. So I want to run 5K. What does that look like? And then we'll have a little bit of fun with that. And then after that, we will do a RunSignup. We'll call it API, RunSignup API, and show how to implement that and a weather API. If we have time, we'll try to possibly pull in the map API. Let's say if we have time, sometimes these things work really well out of the gate. Sometimes there's a little bit of stuff we got to kind of work through. And that's part of what we want to show today, is that we will walk through the whole process of thinking through things, debugging, all that kind of stuff. And so I hope it doesn't work fully out of the gate, just because I want you all to see some debugging. And then the biggest thing is to have fun with it. And I think hopefully you'll all see it'll be a lot of fun. So over to you, Joel.
All right. I hope it works out of the gate. But that's just me. So let's jump in. I'm on v0.app, and I'm logged in. RunSignup has an account, so I'm on my RunSignup account here. But basically, this slide should look pretty familiar. Or this screen should look pretty familiar. We saw it in a bunch of slides coming up, but basically, this is where you can start. And you have a chat bot, text area, I guess you'd say, a way of being able to kind of just get things started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just look over here. So we're just going to build, to start off, we're just going to build something very, very simple. We want this to work as much as Daniel wants us to debug it. I don't really want to debug. I want to see this thing working. So and you'll find that when you write your prompts, it's always good to give as much context as you can. So let's say I'm a race director, and I'm going to ask it. So can you build me a tool that will help me predict mile splits? Let's see, based on their expected finishing times, maybe. So there's no
Before you hit the button to create, I did want to talk about the little feature or the little oh my gosh, settings right there. If you click on right down below right beside the plus sign.
So where?
It's right beside the plus sign, right below the words What is
Oh,
that?
the settings. I got you. I
Settings.
got you. I got you.
I wanted to point this out because if you are finding yourself that you don't know how to prompt or you're wondering if you prompted well, you actually can type in what Joel just did here, and then you actually can hit the enhanced prompt. I don't think Joel needs to do that right now, but I'm just saying I wanted to show that that's something. Well, that works too, but it's something that I wanted to point out because some people might get caught up in thinking, "Am I prompting this correctly?" But that's one way you can actually get help in the prompt side of things.
I split test for each runner. Additionally, I've never used that once, so this is great. We're all learning together.
Yeah, see?
Uh, this is, yeah, it sounds so much better than whatever it was I wrote. All right, let's see what we get. So just gonna hit the submit button. In addition to that too, I think you can also attach like images if you want to. So the more context you can give it, the more direction you can give it, the better off it'll go. So we'll hit submit, and you'll see this is very much like a chat GPT sort of interface where it'll start working. And a lot of it is just kind of it processing and it thinking through. It's nice that it gives you some of this visual feedback to let you know it isn't just like hanging there. So I assume you can see this and make that a little bigger, but currently it's generating design inspiration, which is something that I like to do, but I'm going to let AI do it today. I'm just kidding. That's not my thing. And you'll find that there is, some of this time will take some time, especially, depending on the prompt and how involved it is. So now we're getting into the, it'll break it out into tasks, and it will sort of set up a little process that it will try to follow for itself.
And
so
while we're waiting here, I'll point out that a lot of the tools that I shared, this is a very similar setup. And so you'll normally see the prompting and stuff on your left, and then your prototyping and what it created on the right. And so just so you know, what you're seeing now, the majority, a lot of them are very similar. You'll have a screen that you start with your prompt, and then it'll come into this, and then you'll have the things that prompted on the left, prototype on the right. The difference comes down to you might find one that you feel like is actually creating or doing things better than the others. And that's where I think it pays off to kind of try different ones out and see which one you feel you like working with.
Maybe while it's still thinking, since we're on task 1 of 5, I'll start talking about what we're going to use next.
Yep.
So after we do this, we're going to, let's see, after this gets through there, we are going to be using our APIs. So if you go to runsignup.com and you go to /API, it'll bring you to this API section. And inside here, you'll find all of our API methods. If you're not familiar with how APIs work in general, we have a lot of good documentation in here on our getting overview and getting started section. A lot of our API methods don't require authentication. Some of them do. If you're doing anything specifically for your race, you'll certainly need authentication for that. But when we get into using the APIs, we're going to be using the basic info. We're going to be using the get races API. So when we go into our larger project that we build, how's this thing looking? Still thinking. All right, we're on task 4 of 5, so that's good. And you'll find when we start working with the get races API that the parameters and everything that you need are in here. But one nice thing is we can feed this data into, so don't get overwhelmed by this. You can feed this information directly into like V0 or whatever coding development framework you're using. And it will parse this information and understand it, and then turn around and then use it without you having to know necessarily how this, like what you need to do here. So just wanted to kind of point you in that direction. It's good to know where the APIs are on the site, so you can actually see like what things are available to do. If you use our ticket event platform, we have a lot of ticket event things that APIs that we've exposed as well. All right, we are getting there. It's reviewing its work. That's great. This is taking a little bit longer than usual, which does, I don't know if that bodes well for us. Um, okay.
Should be good, right?
Yep. So usually, okay, so it's loading right now. I see. It's okay. There it is. I say usually we get a preview. There we go. Nice.
All right.
So let's check it out. Now, what's interesting about this is if you use that same prompt 10 times, you'll get a different result 10 times.
Yep.
So this is completely new to me. I've not seen it look like this before. So it looks like we have to do a little, let's see. So finish time. Oh, I see. So this is an input. So let's say if it's going to be a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, and I'm going to finish it in 45 minutes because I'm super fast and we're using even pacing. It'll break down your split time. Oh, this is good, actually. Here's some debugging we can do. It looks like we're asking for a 5K, but it's giving us 5 miles. All right, perfect. Daniel, you got your wish. We have to do some debugging.
See, I knew it.
So
This is good.
this is when and this is really genuinely when you're just going to start working, like talking with the code and just saying, it looks like the, mile splits. We just say like, when I select the 5K, 3.1 miles, I am seeing 5 miles in results. And I think once it's built it once, like that first time, it took a long time to build. And I think that once it has kind of gotten everything set up, these iterations here usually go faster. Again, we're playing with fire right now. We're dealing with AI like live, so who knows? But we'll give it a shot. Let's say I'm going to finish in 45 minutes because I'm fast. There we go. And there we go. So perfect. So you can see what your split time would be. Somehow, if I could manage a 14:30 average pace for that, then that would be how I could target my 45-minute pace.
I think you can do it. And again, you have that race near your house this weekend that we found. So
Yeah.
time to do
If
it.
I wanted to see, and then it gives us this nice negative split. This is kind of cool. So it tells you kind of what you can aim for if you're going for negative split times. It's this race configuration. This is kind of fun. Wow, that's pretty cool. Set up race parameters and logistics for accurate split calculations. And runner management can add runners. Okay, interesting. This was really all I was trying to go for here. So I'm just going to focus on this. Do positive splits, which is usually, I guess that's probably good if you like going slower as you run. Like you shoot out of the gate as fast as you can, and then you like to slow down. I think that's a good approach to racing. So
That's normally how I race.
yeah, and look at this. It's got a little export to CSV. That worked. Let's see if that pop that open. Yeah, cool. All right. So you saw that you can sort of debug things. We had that nice little bug that popped up. We were able to solve it quickly. You can also do really anything, and it's just a regular conversation. I'm pretty sure we have some Taylor Swift fans in the audience. I'm guessing. I know I myself am a Swiftie. Can you please make this Taylor Swift themed? Hopefully it knows who she is. And then once you can, and basically the goal here is to just show how you can iterate, and really it's all about just being able to just free your mind and just being able to just talk to it and just go crazy in that it's sometimes it's hard for me to sometimes just pull myself out of the box that I'm used to it. And so when I'm thinking about changing an entire theme or something that affects the whole app, that's as a developer, that's a big change. Here, it's just asking it to change it to something that Taylor Swift would like. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
and I think to your point, like there's a lot of times I think when you're developing something that you might want to try something fun, but you look at how long it would actually take to pull that off or make it look like that or add that feature and see how that worked. With vibe coding, you literally within a minute or two can at least prototype and see what it looks like and get an idea of it. And so it just helps out on that side of things.
Yeah, this side it's going to take a little bit longer. It looks like because it's probably changing some more of the some more files that have to do with the actual display. And then once this looks good, which I'm sure it will, then we can we'll call it's good. We'll say that we've accomplished our goals. If you do have any questions or suggestions, if you'd like to see us try anything specifically with this project, I think you can. I think you can ask questions. I think there's a way you can ask questions or provide feedback on it, and then we can potentially work that in. Or if you just like the fact that it's going to be Taylor Swift theme, that's fine too. I get it. All right. Oh, so
There
cool.
we go.
Look at this. The hearts even animate race eras. Oh, it's great. So make sure it still works. I'm running my 5K in 45 minutes because I'm fast. There we go. And I'll do it in, here we go. Shake it off start.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the Taylor. I like this. I like this icon too. It's good. That's the Taylor Swift theme race pace calculator. The magic calculator. There you go.
Great.
Cool. So that is sort of the first example. We just wanted to basically show that you can start with nothing and just start talking to it, and you can come up with something, and you can iterate, you can debug it. And the other reason we wanted to stick with V0 is because I know that in the series that are coming up in the next few weeks, with like say Jonathan and Matt Avery and Soren, that we're all going to stay in the V0 world, and so everything you see here will apply going forward, even if you're not necessarily like a Taylor Swift and a Miles Splits sort of person. But that, the way in which we build these things will definitely apply. All right, so let's go back to V0, and we'll do like a new chat. All right, so now the goal is going to be that we're going to want to use that get races API. This is what we were talking about. All right, before I go on, did I cover everything? Anything you want to add, Daniel?
No, that was good. There are a few questions here, but I think let's get into this, and then I think some of the questions will be answered. We can answer them kind of as we're going and waiting on this to get started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is one of the questions, are we allowed to use Taylor Swift's theme, like do we have the royalties to do that?
That is not.
Oh, okay, good. Is one of them Taylor Swift? So get tickets. Nope, we're going back up here. I know, I was just showing you what things are available. So we're back on our APIs. I'm going to use basic info. We're going to use this get races. And again, one of the things you can do is you can send it. You can include a URL. So I could include this and say, hey, I want to use this API at this URL, and here's the documentation. And it should go through and get all the details it would need and basically understand what's happening. What we have done recently is we've added this open API specification. And what this is it's basically breaks down the description of the API in a way that's sort of a shared standard framework approach, where like it's a known structure as to how this API will work, and it basically communicates all of the data that you see up in this page in this sort of like what's this JSON object, which is basically it's very easy to see, like it's like a field name and a field value, and there might be like a sub field or sub value. So one thing I think is pretty handy is you can just copy that, like you could download it and probably send it to there. I'm just going to copy the text, I'm going to say, I'd like build an app that lists races. I'd like to use run signups to get races API. I'd also like to be able to type. Here is the open API spec for that. And then paste it in there. And it attached it as pasted text. So there you go. So I'm just going to send that and see what happens. Do you think I should try this, the enhanced thing?
Yeah, copy that right there what you just have, and then try the enhanced. If you don't like it, then delete it and go back.
Oh, smart.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, good idea.
I think this is also a good time to point out where I will, at times, if I'm trying to figure out what I want to add into this, especially if I'm looking at pulling APIs, this is when I will go to ChatGPT, ask some questions, because it might give me ideas about different APIs I can use, all that kind of stuff. So it's ChatGPT is a good place to get ideas before you come into the prompting. Or just, you might just want to try to understand something a little better, and you can ask some questions in ChatGPT to kind of understand. Maybe it's how you're not so great at APIs, or you don't understand APIs, and you just get a little bit more information about what APIs are and how they work. And so that's what I use ChatGPT for a lot of times.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. And I've found that kind of bouncing ideas off of ChatGPT works really well. It usually provides pretty good feedback and alternative ideas.
So while this is going, do you want to try to answer a few questions here, or do you want to send something else real quick?
Yeah.
All right. So Molly had a question of, where does this tool live, and how can we embed it on the RSU raise page? And so that's a good question.
Yes, that is a great question. So I don't want to go away from this right now while this is thinking, but when what we can do is we can go back to that chat. It saves all of our chats, and then what exists up here on the top right corner, once you get into that preview screen, where the preview is on the right, there's actually a button there called Publish. And when you hit that Publish button, it'll actually take your app that you've just built in V0, and it will set up a new host for it on Vercel. And so basically it allows you to continue to work and develop on that project like inside of V0. And then as you make changes, you will then be able to push those changes by hitting the Publish button. So this is all inside just the developer framework. And then when you hit that, you can see here now this Publish button. It'll generate a URL that's on Vercel. I think it's like a vercel.app URL, and it'll have like a prefix to it it sort of derives from the name of your project. And then, but again, in Vercel, you would just log into Vercel. You'll see that project there as one of the hosted projects, and then you can manage it there. So you can manage the domain. Probably if you were going to try and embed it, you wouldn't need to change the domain. You could probably just keep the Vercel domain and include it in maybe like an iframe or something on your website. So
and that might be where, especially if we're creating an iframe, you would want to prompt and say, I want this to be an iframe. You might ask it to give you the code for an iframe to put on a website within the prompt in V0, right?
Yeah, for sure. The iframe would be the thing that holds it. So like wherever this is going to live, it would be the thing that, like if you wrote the page that holds it, that's where the iframe would live, and then the iframe would point to the app.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah. Okay, so we have our race finder. This is kind of cool. One of the things I'm noticing right away is that this is just using dummy data. This is not actually using our API. I don't think that the Boston Marathon is on our platform. So I'm pretty sure this is just using our some like mock-up data. Because the app includes, yeah, I like also that it gives you like a summary of what it did. And so let's ask it. I have a theory that it's going to say that you need to be that it's going to think that you need to be authorized to use the API. And the thing is, you don't for some of our APIs you do need to authorize the API call. For the get races API, you don't. So we will see here. We'll try do a little bit of back and forth. So that's processing. Is there another question?
Yeah, first, Allison made a great, thank you, Allison, made a great point that on website V2, you cannot do iframes. So you would just want to link to the actual app URL
Right.
instead of actually,
Right.
there's no iframes there. Yep. So
Good
thank you,
point.
Allison, for that. Good point. All right, I think this actually would apply to this right here, but can a tool like this be used to pull information such as number of participants per race or number of volunteers signed up?
Yeah, so it's all basically once. So what we're trying to show here is that that we can connect it to our API. And so once we've done that, we're using this particular API, which is the get races. But you can use any of the API methods that are here. So building an app that allows you to go in and get what was the specific things?
Let's see
Race.
here, such as number of participants per race or number of volunteers signed up.
Yeah. So like volunteers. There we go. Yeah. So you could just have it use like say, if you want to get your volunteers, you could get this API here. Again, here's the open API specification for it. So every one of these, we have a lot. There's so much information that we have available in our open APIs that can hook into your existing races and events. So if you want to get like your race participants, inside here, you can see there's a bunch of sub API methods. So you can see, you know, you can actually do a little bit of like management of your race participants if you want to build like a tool. Okay, so this is, and so all that. So the long answer, so the short answer is yes. The long answer is this is how you would do it. You would come into the APIs, and you can just sort of see like what things are available to get. You want to get your race fundraisers and the donation amounts. There's some really cool things you can do with that. Just wanted to I want to catch this when it's done, because now see when you do work with V0 and you have some data that might be sensitive, such as like if you do have an API key and an API secret, which you can generate within your event to connect it, it will ask for those things like this. It'll prompt you in this little conversation thread over here. And what that's doing is it's going to take those and it's going to save them as what it calls environment variables. So the reason that you want to do that is because you don't want your API key and your API secret to be in the code. That's not good practice. It's a security threat for sure. If somebody has your API key and secret, then they can just operate as you. And being able to hit those APIs that manage or modify your event is something that they'd be able to do. By using environment variables like this, that information stays out of the code, and it will actually be associated with the environment itself. So let's see. Oh, here we go. This is looking better here. All right. So it looks like we've got some events in here from various dates, like 2020. I'm guessing it's just taking like, I'm gonna put in. Wow. All right. So it seems as though it won't let me Okay, let's see here. I can just get rid of that. So it seems like it's trying to submit it as fast as I type. So that would be one thing we'd want to debug. We'd want it to kind of slow down and wait till I've typed enough. Let's say a start date. Let's set up a, so let's say, can we default the search for the upcoming weekend? By setting the appropriate start date and end date. I'll say by the upcoming weekend, say Saturday and Sunday. Just in case it doesn't know what a weekend is.
Some days it does, some days it doesn't.
I wouldn't want to, get confused. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, and so the idea of getting any of this functionality, and it's kind of fun if you look through the API message, you can actually see a lot of like the information that we have available. And chances are good if there's something you're looking to do, it's probably available on the API. There is some handful of stuff, like new features like that have come out recently that might not be there. All right,
There we go.
let's see here. These are all TBD. Okay. Let's try Pennsylvania. Okay. Just for fun, I'm gonna try clicking one of these things. Hey, there you go. September 1 through 3. Oh, this is virtual. I see. Okay, I got you. Okay, so it is working. We are getting results. The problem I think right now is that some of these look like they're there we go. Yeah, this is like this is starting March 3rd and ending December 31st. So I think what it's doing is it's providing events that cover that entire where this date exists within that time.
Gotcha.
One of the things we can do is we can go back to the API. So let's go to the get races. And one of the things you can do is you can kind of just look through and just see like what would be some of the other ways that you can kind of filter this. So even if you don't necessarily see it on the on whatever it generates for you up here. So I know that we can look here and say, okay, so it looks like we have like a min distance or max distance or even a radius. Radius for a zip code. Oh, it does have a radius here. Okay. Just looking through these results. All right. So when I opened before. So go with this one. There we go. So it's just going to pull up these different things. My concern is trying to do the weather if it doesn't have an actual date. So a lot of these are virtual, and the virtual spreads across a long date time, which is why I think we're seeing this TBD. And so in trying to do the weather, I think it would be difficult just because, well, actually, let's just say, we'll just ask it. So this is where I'm my own enemy, right? And I kind of start making like, oh, this is gonna be. Can we include a weather? Can we include weather information? For this Saturday for each race. Let's see. It didn't say no, so that's good. And a lot of times, and I think the more you use it, the more you start to realize what things it seems like it's better at than others. But it looks like we might actually get something here. While this is running, I will actually pull up the one that I was playing around with yesterday when I was practicing. Oh, it's actually just finished. Nice. Okay. Oh, open weather API. Can we use a different API that doesn't require an API key? I'd say weather API. All right. So I will show. This is when I was, as we were preparing for this, I was practicing and just to kind of see what sort of things I might expect to get as far as results are concerned. And I did also see this is, as you can see, it looks completely different. Like I said, if you type it, the thing 10 times, you prompt it 10 times, you'll get something that looks different 10 times. So we iterated. Daniel and I were working on this yesterday, and we iterated on it a few times, and we did actually get it to work where this thing is actually searching. And I live in Danville, Pennsylvania, and I actually found a race that's occurring this weekend using this little race hub app that I generated yesterday. And we also got the weather app doing prompts not unlike the one I just did, and it would display exactly like what the weather is for that when there's like an actual location, because that's why I was concerned about these TVAs. They don't have weather associated with them. This one's gonna be 82 degrees in Danville, Illinois. So if you're looking for a place to go, that might be a good one. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Look at this. All right. So
Nice.
yeah, so you can see here we've updated to use Open Mateo, which is a completely free weather API that requires no API key. And it looks, and I'm just looking at it quickly. I can't verify that this information is correct, but it's there. Obviously, that's something that we'd want to do is go in and make sure. I think yesterday when Daniel and I were playing with the initial app that we were building, it was providing the number in Celsius, and but still saying Fahrenheit. So because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that's the wrong number for Danville.
30 in New York. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now actually let me show so I think Molly said that she was asking about how to make this available. Let me go through that process. So we have this thing, it works kind of good. We would want to do more iterating. I'd like to be able to search by the city without that. Like, and that's probably a quick fix, but I know we're running low on time.
Yep.
So I don't want to, sit here and just keep playing with it. So if you click publish, no source code found for this bug. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah. That's
Interesting. Okay, let me refresh this. Okay, good. All right, publish. Refresh.
and maybe hit that. There you go.
Got it. That was easy. We fixed it. I fixed that. If you run into that same problem, I fixed it by just refreshing the browser. We're still on the cutting edge of technology here, so some things might fall off the table. But so it does. One of the things I will note out here, as we were iterating, it also was saving a version. So what might happen is you might start debugging something or trying to build a feature, and it just doesn't work. You can't, it just doesn't seem to get there. So one of the things you can do is you can actually go back up in time to like when something else that you did, and they have changed the UI. Oh, here it is. And you can actually, it used to be, is it this? Oh, okay, here we go. It's up here now. It used to be you could do it from the actual chat. You could say, revert to here, but it looks like right here. So it'll change your versions, and then you can keep going. And then if something just isn't working, you can slide back to a previous version, and then start from there again. So, and then also if you did go back up to like one of your chats, you could say, retry from here, which is like this, and then it would actually kind of start from there, I think, again. So you do have that flexibility. You can kind of go down that path. So we're going to publish the version 5. And so the first time you do it, it looks like this. We're going to do this publish app, and we'll see how we can get this thing to actually get pushed over to Vercel. And then you'll see how it lives on its own domain.
Yeah, and one point I wanted to bring up while I was doing that is that I think it's important to note earlier when you were doing your first initial prompt was asking to include weather, but then your second one was asking for a free option, right? And so just a note to show you that when you're prompting, think through that kind of stuff. If you want a free version, make sure you say free instead of just weather. That makes a big difference in what it actually will go and look and try to find and pull in. So just thinking through those small little words will make a big difference in your prompting and help you get to where you want to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and that's a really great point. And you can always push back, right? You can always say, like, you're the one, like, even though, like, you can't hurt its feelings.
Not yet.
All right, not yet. Maybe. So here we are. And so this has actually pushed it to a vercel.app URL. And this is a public URL. It gave it the subdomain v0-race-listing-app-9t. So that's just something it came up with. I could apply a custom domain to this. But as you can see, it's there. If you were to go to that URL right now, you could also play with it and see how it's working. If I wanted to come down to this, this would actually click through, send me over here to RunSignup to our platform. You can sign up for the race there, and that's how you deploy it. Is there any? This thing works. Oh, this is still. I just put in Hoboken. All right. Look, that worked. So it took a little while to get there because it's submitting on every input. But if you just put in a zip code, like I just put in the one for Hoboken, New Jersey, which why wouldn't I? You can see that it actually found a race in Hoboken, and it looks like it's going to be about 78 degrees there this weekend. So there you go. That's
nice.
The race finder, and that's how you can implement our APIs into V0 apps and deploy them.
Well, that was awesome. Well done. And I think it just had just enough trial and errors there. So I think that was good. That was very good. We only have like 2 minutes. I don't know really if we have time to dive into questions. I don't know if there was really anything. Those of you who have questions, we'll follow up with you if there's anything here that we see that we didn't cover. But I think that should be it. And for next week, I believe it's Matt and Soren. Tune in for them. They'll actually dive more into building out with RunSignup's API and kind of going deeper into that. And then Jonathan's the week after that, who will kind of build onto that. So tune into those, and there'll just be more to learn across that. So we hope you all enjoyed, and it's been fun. Joel, thanks. Great job today. And thanks for everything.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun. Let's do it again.
I like it. All right. Bye, everybody.